Y'all have been asking for more quick and easy keto dessert recipes. So have you ever heard of chocolate chip pizza? If you have, you've probably never heard of keto chocolate chip pizza, and I hadn't either. I took a Pizza Inn recipe for their chocolate chip pizza, which was the only reason to go to Pizza Inn. I modified it, made it keto and low carb, and made it as easy as I possibly could for you. Also stick around till the end because I'm gonna show you another quick and easy keto dessert that you can make with just about the same ingredients as this keto chocolate chip pizza. Oh man, you're in for a treat today on Southern Keto. Now I don't use very many prepackaged keto things. I like to make everything pretty much from scratch. But you said quick and easy, so I'm gonna deliver it to you. I'm gonna be using this Keto Friendly Duncan Hines yellow cake mix. It's gonna provide the top to this keto pizza. I'm gonna be using these Love and Fresh tortillas from Aldi. My absolute favorite. They cook up better than any other. But if you can't find these, just use whichever ones you can find. Well, I'll just have to clean that up later because right now I wanna get in the kitchen to show you how to put together this chocolate chip pizza. Well, the first ingredient you're gonna need for this low-carb keto chocolate chip pizza should come as no surprise since I already showed it to you, but it's these carb control tortillas from Aldi. This full recipe is gonna make 4 chocolate chip pizzas. The next thing you're gonna need should be no surprise again. You're gonna need some of this Duncan Hines Keto Friendly classic yellow cake mix. Now we're gonna use the whole box of it if you wanna make 4 of these chocolate chip pizzas. If not, you can portion this down to whatever you wanna make. The next thing you're gonna need is your favorite sugar-free chocolate chip. I like these Bake Believe ones. I can find them at Walmart. You're just gonna put however many chocolate chips you like on your chocolate chip pizza. And you're gonna need some butter. Now, for this recipe, you need 2 sticks of butter. You're gonna need all of it. I would not use less. The first thing we're gonna do is make our crusts, AKA these tortillas. So just turn your burner on a medium-high heat. Spray your pan real good with some good olive oil. This is a hex-clad pan. If you're looking for a good pan, I'll put the link down below. I'm gonna spray the top of the tortilla with some olive oil also, just so when you flip it over, you get a good even cook on both sides. Now it's real important you don't make this super crispy. You want it just browned enough, and I'll show you what it's gonna look like when it comes out in just a minute, but just keep flipping it. If you get it too brown, there's just no coming back from it, so just keep flipping it every once in a while until you know exactly how long it takes to cook them. See how it's starting to brown like that on the top? That's getting about right. We're gonna take it just a little bit further, but not too far. You know you're almost there when it starts looking just like that. Now here's the other side. And it's looking pretty good too. So just move this around the pan just a little bit, just so it doesn't stick. And we're gonna have this crust almost ready. And with these, you can't flip them too much, so don't worry about it. It's not like a piece of meat that you want to sit there and sear on one side. So, hey, don't stress about this. It ain't rocket science. It's just cooking up a little tortilla. Now, if you've seen my fold-over video, this is the same thing we did with these fold-overs. But, hey, we're going to make something a whole lot better than that today. Once they're done, just take them off and let them cool for a little bit. And this is what you're looking for as far as how much they should be cooked once they come off. This is what you want them to look like, just stiff enough to hold up to this chocolate chip pizza, but you don't want them crispy because they're going in the oven in just a minute. Now this next part is totally optional, so don't be mad at me now if I add a couple more ingredients on there. This makes it super sweet. If you don't like it super sweet, leave this off, but you're gonna take a 1/4 cup Magic Baker's blend, and you're gonna take a 1/4 cup of the Magic Baker brown. We're gonna sprinkle that over the top, and it's gonna make a crust. Now, again, it's super sweet. If you don't like it, then don't worry about it. 400 degrees is what you're gonna wanna set your oven to. That's what we're gonna cook this keto chocolate chip pizza at. I mean, I never get tired of saying keto chocolate chip pizza. So take your 1/4 cup of your favorite brown sweetener, and I highly recommend this Magic Baker's brown because it's got a little bit of molasses in it and a little bit of glycerin to hold it together. And then take your 1/4 cup of your regular Magic Bakers or your favorite sweetener, throw it right in there on top, And then just take a fork or your favorite implement of destruction and just start mashing it up a little bit. Make sure you get all the lumps and bumps out of it. Get it just as smooth as you possibly can. And then we're just going to go in and stir it up.
Stir it up, little darling, stir it up.
And hey, if you want to get it real proper, you could throw it in a blender or whatever you want to try to get all the lumps and bumps out. But hey, I just kind of go through it with a spoon like that, stir it up as good as I can. It's going to make like a crust on top of this keto chocolate chip pizza. Now I'm going to take all the butter, and it's 2 whole cups of butter. My favorite way to melt butter is to just throw it in the microwave in like 20-second bursts or until it starts popping, and you know it's ready. Now the next thing you want to do is get your yellow mixing bowl and dump in the whole thing of this keto cake mix. If you're making 4 of them. If not, just appropriately measure it out, get half of it, save half for later, or for this other dessert we're going to talk about. Then I'll pour in all that melted butter, and then once again, we're going to have to stir it up until it gets proper. Don't worry, it seems like a lot of butter, but this cake mix, because it's got almond flour in it and it's got coconut flour in it, it's going to absorb it up just right. So this is going to be the topping on top of our keto pizza crust. I'm going to do more dessert videos. If you don't want to miss them, click subscribe down there, hit the bell beside it and hit all, and you'll get all the notifications from new dessert videos or any other videos I do. Now, because I'm only making 2 of these right now, I'm going to cut all that cake mix just about in half, and then I'm going to cut it in half again, and I'll put 1/4 of it on one and 1/4 on the other. Now what I like to do is just stick it in the fridge in a bowl, and it'll stay just fine for a couple days. Really, this is enough for 8 slices, which is going to be a serving, and you don't think it's going to be a whole lot, but trust me, 1/4 of one of these is really a lot. It's nice and sweet. It's going to satisfy your sweet tooth, and hey, it keeps just fine in the glass container in the fridge too, and it maintains that consistency. So just spread out that cake mix on top of these, and you want to make sure you leave a nice little border around the edge, because once we bake these, it's going to expand a little bit. So if you want even more of a little crust, leave yourself a little more room than I do, because when it expands, if you leave this much room around it, it's going to go right to the edge, which is what I like. And then, oh man, this is the good stuff right here. Just put as much of these chocolate chips on there as you want. And that one just became mine. Yeah, that ain't coming back. Anyway, put as many of these on here as you like, and they're gonna melt down really, really nicely. So if you want them to stay more like chocolate chips, you could take it out of the oven after about 7-8 minutes. Put your chocolate chips on there, it'll do just fine. But the way I like it is just like this. And you're gonna take a spoon and just kind of press them down in there. If you do this now, or if you do it later, just press them down in there real good. It's going to make it absolutely perfect. And whether you add chocolate chips now or you add chocolate chips later, it's time to go on with the sweetness. If you want it like this, it does form a little bit of a crust on top, and I really like it. You may not want to use as much of the sweetener as I do, but hey, that's totally up to you. It's a matter of your preference. You ain't got to use it all if you don't want to. You're not going to hurt my feelings. And hey, that's the thing about most of my keto dessert recipes. You can customize them exactly how you like it. Leave out some things if you want. I mean, look at those right there. They are ready. And up close, they look even more ready. These bad boys are ready to go in the oven and get baked. Now you want to take your oven rack in your oven and don't keep it in the middle. Move it up to the middle top. That's where we're going to bake this at. So it's time now for its little ride to the oven. And I'm going to set the timer to 7 minutes, and after that I'm going to turn them around in the oven. So after that 7 minutes is up, we're going to turn them around, and if you decided to leave your chocolate chips whole, then this is the point you're going to put those on, because we're going to bake them again for another 5 minutes. So if you put them in now, you can put them in press them down just like we did on the other one, and your chocolate chips will stay looking more like this at the very end. We'll go back in the oven 5 minutes. After that, that's what it looks like. Just let them cool for just a few minutes to let that cake kind of set up a little bit. And watch your oven. My oven, your oven are different. You don't want to burn these chocolate chips, because if you do, there ain't no coming back from it. But man, look how beautiful that looks. And it's going to taste even better than it looks. Now, I promised you another dessert, so you're going to take that same cake mix, and if you used half of it and only made 2 pizzas, you got some left. So we're going to use 1/3 of a cup of the cake mix. We're going to use 2 tablespoons of this Kerrygold butter or your favorite butter, and we're going to use 2 tablespoons of water. That is absolutely all it takes. Oh, and you're going to need a mug. Now, this is the mug that I use. Know your mugs. If you got one that gets really, really hot, like this one that I have, which is my absolute favorite. I think these are awesome. That's what I drink my coffee out of. It's the Yellowstone ones from Walmart, and I love them. That thing gets so hot, this cake won't cook in there. So get one that you know works good. Put your couple tablespoons of butter in there. This is the easiest recipe in the world. Just melt that butter down in the microwave like I do, or you can make it more complicated if you want to. But take your 1/3 cup of that cake mix and put it right in the cup, or mug, or ramekin, or hey, you can make it in a rubber boot if you want to. It's on you. But if you do that, don't come crying to me when it tastes like a Goodyear. Just dump your water in. We're gonna stir it up one more time and get this cake mix all incorporated with that melted butter and that water. And then we're gonna go in the microwave with it. That's what it should look like when it's getting almost done. You scrape it down off the edges, and we are good to go. Now this thing's gonna cook for 1.5 minutes in all, but I'm gonna put it in there to begin with for 1 minute because there's a couple of things that you could add into it if you so desire. So after the minute's up, you could take some beautiful blueberries, throw those right in there. You can mix them up, and then you got yourself a little blueberry cake muffin type thing. Or my favorite thing is mix in some chocolate, and you're gonna have some chocolate cake or muffin or whatever you want to call it. I just call it the good stuff. And hey, you don't have to put anything in there if you don't want to. That's your prerogative. But we'll go back in the microwave for 30 seconds, and when it comes out, this is what it's gonna look like. I mean, you know, it's simple, it's easy, and if you're like me, I'll just go ahead and throw the blueberries in there too, because I don't care. I love the taste of the chocolate and blueberry together. If you hadn't tried it, give it a shot. But the main thing is, if you got a sweet tooth, this is quick, this is easy, it's delicious, it's gonna satisfy that sweet tooth, and I mean, man, it's just one of the quickest and easiest things you can do, and it is delicious. Hope you enjoy it. If you want another quick and easy keto dessert, and you haven't seen this video, you gotta check it out. It's my most popular one so far, and I've got another variation of it right down here that you're gonna love as well. Hey, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on one of these 2 videos.